What is up? What's up, Map Universe? What is going on in New Jersey, huh? Shit's wild. So, just want to preface this episode by saying I've had a lot going on lately, and between me and Hans, let's just leave it. We've had a lot going on, and this podcast was recorded a while ago, and I am just finally getting to finishing it now, so please enjoy, and we hope to get back into doing these on a regular basis. So thanks for tuning in. Enjoy.
So yeah, run it.
Yo.
Yeah,
I'm at 99%. We're good. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Middle Aged Apocalypse. We have been on hiatus. We apologize for the break there. We had
on me. I moved. Bunch of shit. Had to deal with.
we
Is
had
what it is.
some stuff going on, and we
You
appreciate
got a new phone.
our 6 or 7 or 8 viewers for not getting their apocalypse fix for a couple weeks. Let's just get right into it. .gg code
W what?
MAA w.gg code MAAP for 10% off your first order.
No.
Trying to pay the bill. But welcome everybody. How you been, Hans? Sorry, man. It's been so long. I'm Greg. This is Hans. This is Middle Age Apocalypse,
That's right.
and we're just chilling. Hans is in a new spot. How's that going?
Not too bad. Can't complain. I mean, this little mongrel. He's a mongrel. He's just humongous. 8 pounds or 15 pounds, 8 months old. Look at this dude. He's humongous.
Big boy.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. He's just warming up. He's just warming up. He's just a little booger. But yeah, no, didn't go too bad. You know, nice easy kind of transition. It's working out for everybody. Me, Phil, and Erica. Yeah, you know, there's only so much we can do these days. But looks like things are turning up in the way that I was hoping for. You know, getting back to the old days when I used to live here. And that was what they moved in here in 2016. I moved in August 2017 and I was downstairs. I had the basement to myself and we're all kind of just saving money. Trump's started Trump's first term and we got through it, you know. So I guess it's kind of weird. It's kind of a reset back to 7, 8 years ago. It's kind of bizarre, you know. I don't really know how else to explain it, but it's comforting. For me personally, Erica and little Gary stopped by earlier. He's turning 9 in a month, and I was thinking about that. I was like, Erica was like, "Was it really 8 years ago that we all lived here together?" I was like, "Yo, I was wiping his ass, like babysitting. He was 1 year old, dude. He's turning 9 in a month." I was like, oh "My word, how does 8 years go by that fast, man?" And yo,
That's wild.
all I can say is credit to our parents, man. They never lied to us about that. I mean, time, you never understand how fast time goes until you hit age 30, and then it accelerates like monumentally. It's like, bye bye, now you're 40. I mean, I can only imagine it's going to feel like a year and a half. I mean, you're going to be like, cool, now we're doing this, and we're 50. I mean, for real, dude. I mean, it's just bizarre, you know. I mean, think about it. It doesn't before you and Christy moved out of Rhode Island feel like, I don't know, 5 years ago? But it was what,
It was
15?
almost. It was almost.
What?
Yeah,
No.
we moved. We moved out of there in 2020.
When you got out of what town was that you were living in though for a while there?
Oh God, dude, we could give
Riverside? The
we
app.
could
Name of
give
the app.
we could give a Hollywood style tour of all the towns in Rhode Island because you name it, we live there. Here's
Oh
Central
yeah.
Falls. This is Central Falls. This
Oh my
is
God, that place was
known
gross.
for known for crackheads and
14-year-old
carjackings.
gangbangers.
Here's here's the here's the prison on our way back to our second stop.
Yep.
Here's here's the house where Greg lived in, which is on the top floor there. You have a stripper who lives with her pimp, and the first floor is a just gets rented out continuously because no one wants to live under there because sometimes the Johns will think that your apartment is the apartment of the hooker slash stripper. And
Yep.
so that gets pretty high turnover rate there. As we continue on, we'll pass through Providence and we'll check out the slums of Cranston here. We don't want to go in the
Mm-hmm.
middle zone. We gotta stay on the outside. Stay on the
Mm-hmm.
outsides in the ghetto. Take a right here at Meatball Mike's. You'll see one of Greg's first Rhode Island apartments. This was after he only experienced dorms. This was his first true roommate experience here. He had this bodega down the street, which he picked up many cans of soup and other canned goods from. Stop and shop up the road. Meatball Mike's, too expensive for me. Can't go there too often. But
At least you can pronounce bodega. Joe Biden can't pronounce bodega. What does he say?
so
Bodega or some.
oh, I don't know.
Just uh,
I've never heard him
just
try to pronounce
just
that
just ear pain is what it was. So you seem like you got a little shine on. Is
No,
this stressful
actually,
little
no.
computer experience, or are you just overtired?
I just went on, went with it there. I don't know what that was. I guess I was just frustrated with trying to get connected up here after so long. I'm like, all right, I told Christy, I'm like, I'm gonna set a time so that
You're frustrated with
do the
China. We're all
do the pot.
frustrated with China. No, I
I
know
didn't
you
say
said
that.
trying to. I know. I'm just kidding. Gotta make some light of it.
Well,
I
speaking
know.
of China, I spent like a good 10, 15 minutes on Temu the other day because I got
No.
roped.
Ugh.
I don't go through Instagram that often, but I got roped into one of those Temu ads, and then I kept spinning that wheel and getting free gifts.
My
Like,
word.
all right. I'm like, all right, let me see how many free I can get before I have to spend money. So I ended up spending like I'm like, well, it's a cheap way to buy Christmas presents. So I ended up spending like $54 and I got 11 free cheap, whatever.
Piles of junk, stuff
I
that's
don't
gonna
know.
fall apart.
There's some weird, cool. I don't remember. Oh, that's a good surprise. I don't remember what it was.
Well, yeah, that's always fun. I love that, man. Last year when I was like a complete mess and I was just whatever in La La Land, check my email randomly and just be like, "Oh, your Amazon or eBay order is on the way," and I'm like, "What? What? What am I getting?" And I wouldn't even enter the email. I would just be like, "No, you got to let it be a surprise." And boom, there it was. It'd be like some cool ass Matchbox or some stupid redundant tool I didn't need that I already owned. It just, you know how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what do they call that? There's like a term for it. People literally go to therapy for it. It's like this like dark hole that people go into with the internet, and it's all the
Rabbit.
social media platforms that create this mental need, and people go down these rabbit holes like yeah, that supplement, I need that. Oh, I need that coat, and I need that hat, and I need. It's like, nah, you don't need. You need to just keep your eyes on the road, but that's what you
Yeah,
get.
they do a good job at enticing you, though. They listen to you and they see what you're scrolling for, so they're like, he's talking about throwing a hatchet with his buddy. So
Yeah,
here's some
throwing hatchets.
hatchets for you. Yeah.
I thought
Like what
for
the
a
fuck?
second I heard you say it sounded like you said Tyson. I was like, don't even get me into that. So, all right, well,
Boy.
we might as well touch it. We might as well touch it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Might as
my
well
initial
touch on it.
thoughts. My initial thoughts. I don't know. I was surprised. I guess I haven't really followed it for the most part up until the fight, but I do remember seeing him training early on, like when I first heard about the fight. And
I sent you videos
he
of
looked,
him when he was like back at his peak.
yeah, you did send me some too, but I'm like, this dude looks
See,
like he
I'm
aged
all.
like,
Excuse me, people. I'm still here. I'm right here. Hi, hi. I just gotta smoke a cigarette because I'm all stressed out about this shit. This it pisses me off. But continue, Greg. Go ahead.
this dude looks like he aged like 50 years since I saw him train.
No, no.
No, just the way he was moving compared to what I had seen in those videos.
Yeah. Give me some more
Yeah,
examples.
he looked like he was 50 years older. He wasn't moving at all.
That's because of contractual obligations. So I
Yeah.
believe it was towards the top of the sixth, or maybe yeah, I think it was the top of the sixth. And Jake comes in, looking all big and dastardly, and he goes and throws this huge haymaker, and then you saw 1989 Mike Tyson. He ducked that, and it brushed over his back, and he stood up, and Paul was like stumbling backwards, and Mike had his hand cocked, ready to hit for a body shot or just a head shot. And what did he do? His hand goes like this. He ducks that shot, comes up, and goes like that and stop. That's contractual obligation, motherfucker.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that clip side by side with almost identical situation where he just fucking KOs the guy
Yeah, no shit.
with
That's what
that
he
right
always
hook.
used to do. Well, he'd
Yeah.
come in half the time or a lot of the time because Mike was famous for body shots. So if he did that super low duck and ducked a huge haymaker like he did right there, he'd come in and get you in the body and then his signature uppercut and you're smoked. You're done. You're out. Yeah, that's it. And he held back. So it wasn't a real fight. It was a charade. It's just bullshit. So
Yeah, we'll
that's where
probably never know what exactly was on that contract, but I have heard that if Mike had knocked him out, he would get $0.
yeah, instead of 50 million.
See, the numbers I heard was that Jake got 40 and that Tyson got 20.
Yeah, see, they jumble them up because I've heard 50 and 40. So it's like, who really knows? We'll never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Granted, this
as far
same video I saw, they were trying to say that the whole crowd was AI and actors, and I'm like, well, I guess it was a bunch of content creators, and they were all talking about how they bought tickets to go to this, and then all of them had the event canceled, and they mentioned how they said, yeah, that's weird. There was zero streamers there. Why were there no streamers? There was no
what?
social media presence whatsoever there, like from the crowd.
So
And they were all like,
I mean,
wait, that's weird.
we kind of knew it was going to be a farce from Jump Street. I mean, look at my like my hands are twice the size of Jake Paul's. Mike Tyson's hands are like humongous. I mean, there's no, and
Do you
like you were touching upon the training videos. It's like, dude, they literally had like brakes on him the whole time. He never he didn't let loose whatsoever, which to me really pissed me off because of the fact that he has so much gas in the tank still. But I don't know. I have more faith in my man Mike that he would be like, yo,
he should
fuck
have,
your
yeah.
money, and just dropped him. And he could have so easily.
He
It was a
clearly
joke,
needs the money. He clearly needs it if he's doing that. Because
but he
he
doesn't.
should have.
He's got
I don't know,
empires.
man. Yeah, he does, but when you start living that lifestyle and you're going through those kind of bills for all these properties and all the taxes and all that shit, you eat through your savings pretty quick.
Yeah, but he's been
I don't know.
bankrupt before. That's
Yeah,
all
I
I'm
don't know.
saying.
I'm just trying to come up with a good reason for why he would do something like that.
I don't
I'm
know.
thinking
I
he must need it for something.
I don't know. I don't know if he does or he doesn't, or he just didn't care and he just wants to disappear. I don't know, because think about it. If he had just mopped him and said, "Hey, Netflix, suck it," and just dropped the kid, then how many more exhibition fights would he have to be involved in? I think he just got to the point with all the media coverage. Mike just wants to be left alone. That, and he just wants to be stoned and microdosing on mushrooms all the time. He's I just think he ran out of patience with all the hype and what, two or three different pauses in the entirety of the main event. So I think he just got to his breaking point where he's like, whatever, man, I'll pass the gloves over. Take it. Don't care. I'm out. I got a family.
Yeah.
I got a multi-million-dollar pop business. I got everything I need. I don't need nothing more. Take it. And I'm
It's
back in shape and I'm still loved by my family. So let's go. So
it's
I think
weird
he
though
just
to make those training videos like that and then come out not doing any of that. It's just like if you signed that contract before you even started training, why are you gonna fucking I mean, why put those out? Why put those out? Why not just train behind closed doors and not even put anything out? Because
because
people, it's so obvious.
I'll tell you exactly why. It's because it drags people to his websites of pot supplements, weightlifting supplements, boxing supplements, this, that, and the other thing. So he's making money hand over fist on the side. Just putting out 20,
Yeah,
30-second videos is dragging people to all his different websites and businesses. So he probably made, I don't know, three, four times more money than what he was paid to throw that fight.
right.
So
So
I think he was just like,
that's why as soon as he came out on camera, he already looked defeated. Because he's like, man, I'm gonna look like a fucking fool out here.
right, right,
He's like, just 8 rounds, 2 minutes a piece, 16 minutes. He's like, I can
yeah,
deal with that.
right, right. And what was
He
more,
did though. He was not pumped up at all when he came out.
no, because he knew that the contract he signed meant defeat. So he was already mentally
Yeah.
defeated. So I don't know. It was a good weekend in reality, because the next night, John Bones Jones comes out of retirement. And I mean, yo, imagine being the parents of the Jones kids. You got Chandler Jones and John Bones Jones. Chandler was one of our best linebackers the Patriots have ever seen. He's still one of the top rated in the league. I don't remember what the other brother's name is, the heavy set one that's a lineman. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And then you got John Bones, who's literally like the best UFC fighter ever.
Did you
And
see he gave Trump his belt?
no, nope,
I
I didn't
think
see
that was
that.
the same fight. But yeah, that was a clip I was gonna bring up actually. I'll send it to you. John Jones. I'll send it to you.
It probably was, because
Actually, let me play it right now. And can you? Are you? Do you have the screen up? Can you see me?
what? Yeah.
Can you see? Yeah. Okay. So I'll just edit the video in here, and I'll
All right.
photos.
Look at the little man saying hi to you.
Who is
Hi,
quite
Uncle Greg. Hi, buddy.
quite
Hi,
giddy.
buddy.
He's very blurry.
Yeah.
But all right. Gosh, this lady, I keep opening this phone. So actually, let's just get right into this. Did you hear about this fucking shit? So obviously, there's extremists in every country. We've seen some here.
Yeah.
So this is a family. It sounds like a family of Iraqi immigrants, and I think the daughter must be first generation Iraqi American.
This is crazy. A set of parents from Lacey, Washington were arrested after they attempted to honor kill their 17-year-old daughter because she refused to allow them to fly her overseas to Iraq to be the wife of an older man as part of an arranged marriage. The parents' names are, and I know I'm going to say this wrong, but Ishan and Zara Subi Monson Ali. Now, the victim's name hasn't been released, but reports say that she had reported abuse from both of her parents prior to the attack. She told investigators that leading up to the attack, her father said that if she did not obey and do what she's supposed to do, he would kill her. So she was terrified and ran away to try to get help, but the parents saw her on October 18th outside of the school as she was waiting for a bus to take her to a shelter. The dad apparently rushed out of the car and immediately began hitting and choking her. And he choked her until she completely lost consciousness and went totally limp. The mom was there attacking her as well. This is the girl's boyfriend's dad. His name's Victor Barnes, and he has told the local news that when the parents began choking and hitting her, his son, so her boyfriend, jumped in to try to help, and he was also assaulted. The dad hit him so hard, he went flying down onto the concrete. But then he was able to get up and pull the mom off of her. Other witnesses jumped in and tried to save her as well. And as people held her parents back, and after she regained consciousness, she and the boyfriend went running in the school while she yelled, "My father just tried to kill me." So the school went on lockdown. And according to reports, the mom actually tried to run inside the school to get her, but security stopped her. And witnesses were able to hold the father down until police arrived. Now, he's pissed off and confused because he says the school was well aware of what was going on, and he doesn't understand why an adult didn't walk her out to that bus stop and stay with her to make sure something like this didn't happen. Also, he had to file a restraining order against the parents because leading up to the attack, they were going to his house several times looking for her. They were both arrested and charged with attempted murder, attempted kidnapping, and assault. Reports are stating the girl is in a safe place, and just because I know people are going to ask, the incident is on video. I'm not going to post it, obviously. My video will get taken down, but if you really want to see it, you can just search it. It's there.
So they basically sanctioned the murder of their own daughter. She didn't agree to basically a arranged marriage. Is that what I'm
Right.
gathering?
Yeah. It's a honor killing, essentially, because she
Honor
she
killing.
refused and ran away from home because her dad straight up told her he was going to kill her if she didn't.
So that's what we go to court for now. We just say, no, that attempted homicide on my own child is honor. Take your religion and shove it that far up your ass. Honor killing? I got a good idea about what that is, motherfucker. I'll find you and I'll take care of it for you. And save her and definitely not you. You know what train tracks are? Yeah. Wait till you're tied to them, motherfucker. That's on killer.
That shit is
That's
wild.
well, it's just the fact that there's sympathizers in our government, in our media, that try to normalize this in our okay. You do what you want in the country you came from, but here that shit don't fly. Sorry, it don't.
Right. I think that's been the biggest issue, or well, one of the bigger issues with the open borders is that the people coming in aren't, because they're not being vetted and put through the system, they're not they're not informed on you need to adopt our society and our way of life. They just bring
They
their way
don't.
of life into
They
a
don't. Why would
country.
you? Why would you give a shit if you were one of them? Why would you give a shit about our laws or anything? What other country can you just waltz across the border and move into a five-star hotel, get $64 a day per person in food stamps, get $2,000 charged onto a debit card per month, and have literally day in, day out dry cleaning service and butlers? What other? I mean, if what I just said, if you live here and you grew up here and you can somehow convince yourself mentally that that is okay, there's something fundamentally wrong with your brain. You can't, dude. If I went into Canada with you right now to try to go and just chill for a couple days, I wouldn't be allowed to leave because of my criminal record. I don't even have a felony, but I wouldn't be able to leave. They'd hold me for at least a month.
You
You
think
have
they'd even let you
DUI,
in?
probably not. And that's the kisser. That's the killer part of it. Is that it's like, I mean, I was talking to my boy Josh the other day. I was like, dude, I wish I could just walk into another country and just have everything paid for. I mean, if there was that possibility for me, dude, I'd be in Switzerland, dude. I'd be in the Swiss Alps, living at the nicest resort. I'd be at fucking Gstaad, dude, the
Hmm.
nicest ski resort on the fucking planet. Like, yes, yes, I want more Bruges. Oh my gosh, like, yo, $64 a day for one person. That's what most families in this country right now are trying to spend, like you and Christy, on a family of four per week, just trying to scrape by. That's what everyone's trying to do. That's what we used to be able to do 15 years ago. I could grocery shop for my breakfast, lunch, and dinner for work for myself as a single 20 some odd year old male for $36 a week. I bought the same
Huh.
shit at Hannaford's for years on end. And I'd make my own sandwiches. I'd have an English muffin in the morning with peanut butter and jelly. That was my breakfast and a cup of milk. And then I'd have a little roll up deli thing with, boar's head chicken or roast beef. And then
My
dinner was
jam was the General Tso cold chicken at the deli. They
right.
have a little plastic
Right,
container of the General Tso. You can eat that shit right out the fucking thing or heat it up.
dude, for real.
Oh yeah.
It's like, so how does it make it doesn't make any sense? And we have all these federal agencies hunting people like you and I down. "Oh, you make sure," and then you have all the blue shirts and idiots and brown shirts screaming about, "Are you sure you paid all your taxes?" Like, dude, fuck you. Our tax money's going to all these illegals. Really? And Lake and Riley, what a surprise. The government paid for her flight to her death. I mean, it's just one thing after the other comes out of the woodwork. And we have to take her guns. That whole thing that happened in Texas. What town was that? It was horrible. You got 200 federal agents outside of one school with a shooter going nuts, and we didn't have orders. So they're just standing there while this dude's walking around shooting 23 kids and teachers. I mean,
Yeah,
get the
that was
fuck out of here.
wild.
It's so emblematic as to how to collapse a country, and I honestly don't know why they're trying to do that to us. But hey, you know what?
They do that, but yet they have no problem going into someone's New York City apartment or whatever New York State apartment, abducting their squirrel and raccoon
Dude,
and
what the fuck was that?
murdering them.
Dude, they spent, I think it was Clay and Buck the other day. They looked into it.
2 million or something.
By the end of it, it was 9 point something million dollars by the end of it to kill a
That's
fucking
insane.
squirrel and a turtle. Who
A
gives a
raccoon.
shit about a what? Yeah, but there was the turtle as well.
Oh, they took the turtle too? Fucking hell.
Yep. Yeah, man.
That's
I don't.
wild.
It's like they spend that much money and effort. What is the benefit? Who cares about some dude that what was even the premise of that?
So
I
here's
still
what I
don't.
had heard. So this guy and his wife have a OnlyFans,
Oh, for
and
fuck, of course they do. Yeah.
they also run like a part-time daycare type situation.
Mm.
So from what I can, the information from what I obtained is that one of these people turned into a Karen, and because they found out about the OnlyFans, they were pissed off or whatever,
And they put out the hit. Yeah.
and put out the hit. Yeah, essentially.
So wait,
That's
what
what
is
I
it?
can.
Where's the grounds to put the highest priority on murdering a fucking a squirrel in human captivity? Where does that
Well,
even
here's.
where
I
yeah,
think
go ahead,
it's
please.
technically. I think it's technically illegal to have those types of animals in your dwelling, but they also, with their OnlyFans money or whatever, they also have a rehab center for animals who are misplaced or up for slaughter or abandoned. So technically, this squirrel actually, I think, is what got them their original money for this from his. He had a big following on social media, so I think he made them some
Huge.
money. So they started
It was like the
this program.
wasn't it the most popular thing on TikTok in the last few months?
I don't
It was
know,
like the
maybe the
highest hit thing, is what I remember
probably
hearing from the news. But,
probably.
a little squirrel in a tuxedo is high priority over, just a bunch of illegals running around taking over hotels and apartments and Venezuelans just claiming this building is ours, armed thugs covered head to toe with tattoos. And it's okay.
What was that crazy shit that like the mayor said of one town? They were like, it's only two buildings. It's not the whole town. It's only two buildings. It's like only two buildings.
Seriously.
What the fuck is wrong with you? That's two
So
buildings too many.
So just 200 unvetted possible terrorists just gallivanting around claiming property. But you and I still have to pay property tax. What the fuck is that? There's no sensibility left in the left. And that's why it was amazing the last couple of weeks after the election to see how CNN is laying off what, like 1,000 or 2,000 employees or something. They're all crumbling. MSNBC, PBS, they're all going out of business, man. And the whole thing too is okay. It's cool that everyone's giving credit to Gen X, the ne'er do well Gen Xers, these pot smoking Gen Xers playing video games. Well, it wasn't just them. 18 to 25 showed up in droves to vote, specifically boys. Why? What have we touched on before? Nobody wants to see their daughter get their head smashed by some dude who claims he's a chick. No one wants to see the Riley Gaines situation ever again. This girl worked her whole life, was in a pool her whole life to try to get to the Olympics. And then homeboy just decides, oh, I'm just gonna walk into your locker room and steal all your medals and take all your grit. And now everyone's calling her like a KKK member. It's the level of insanity. And then you got, the Cheneys even swaying that way. Like Liz Cheney's like, there needs to be reproductive health products for in boys' bathrooms. It's like, we don't do that. We pass off a seed, and the females are the ones that bring life to the table. It's just denying biology is insanity. I whatever. So let's jump back. I know I'm on a tangent for a minute because I'm really upset about it, but at the same time, I'm very also positive and optimistic about the outcome of all this. Was the John Bones Jones fight, and I didn't watch it live. I don't pay for that shit. But Sunday morning, I woke up and I see Trump, Tulsi, Elon, and the whole crew. And I was like, what is happening? 2 years ago, those people wouldn't have even shared a room together, let alone sit at a table together, and they're all there rooting on at a UFC fight. I'm like, yo. And then you got all the NFL teams and college football teams doing the Trump dance every time they win a touchdown. It's just like, man, what just happened? Like, it's only been 2 years, but apparently everyone's waking up, man. That's the only way I can smell it. And the other
Yeah,
part that I smell that, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm definitely excited about all of what RFK will potentially be able to get done in there. It's
Oh, him and Cheryl were right
pretty
there at the
exciting.
UFC fight too. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I was, yeah, it's just it's surreal, you know.
So when I was preparing for this podcast today, and I made a bunch of notes in my notepad, and seven. I had seven um, bullet points here, and as you can see, I I've got two and a half. I've got two now. There's
Hold
two
back a
there.
little farther. Or well, just go ahead. You
I got
go
two
ahead.
now. So I guess what happened was I thought this thing was automatically saving shit, but apparently not. But that's besides the point. You were just talking about, well, we were just talking about RFK a little bit. So I'm gonna plug in. So Donald Trump. Shit's fucking awesome, dude. 11 agencies. That shit is gonna be wild.
Hey, what's up, America? RFK Jr. So Donald Trump just appointed RFK Jr. as the Secretary of Health and Human Services here in the United States. So, of course, as you know, RFK Jr. is a proponent of getting fluoride out of the water, making our food safe by getting poisons out of them, and banning certain chemicals that are bad for the body, frankly. So RFK Jr. will now have the authority to do a whole bunch of shit to make our food and water supply safe. But apparently he's in charge of now 11 agencies, including the Food and Drug Administration and the CDC, the National Institute of Health, oh, imagine that, the Administration for Children and Families, and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. He says that he's going to try to improve the human condition here in the United States by first taking poisons that we have in our everyday lives and getting rid of them and banning them, and then doing other things specifically for children's health. but really everyone's overall. So yeah, thank you, Donald Trump, for making him the head of the Health and Human Services here in America.
Oh yeah. Did you see that when they were on Trump Force One, flying back from the UFC fight Saturday night, and they're all sitting there on Trump Force One at the table, and they've got a mess of McDonald's, and RFK is looking at the camera, just like, really, I have to eat this right now. But it's like, yo, hey, everyone's got a cheat day, bro. Got to do it. Got to do it.
You mean,
But
really? I gotta eat this right now. Sorry, that was bad impression.
I have to eat this right now. I really don't want this burger or this chicken sandwich or these French fries cooked in saturated fats.
Poor guy.
Won't it be amazing though? The last time that made fries with beef grease, which is how McDonald's made their food forever, was cooked in beef
Yo,
tallow.
dude, I heard they were injecting their potatoes with beef, dude, with beef broth.
Well, they might be, but regardless, way back in the day, they used all the rendered fat from the burgers and everything, and it was just natural rendered beef tallow, and that's what they fried everything with. But now all they use is trans fats to fry everything. So, I mean, yo, if he can have a sway on
Seed
the
oil.
industry, exactly, and he's like terrified of seed oils. So, I mean, that being said, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there's a lot, because what was it? It was like some ridiculous number, like 79% of fast food in this that is sold and served in this country is not allowed to be sold anywhere else on the face of the fucking planet. So I
Yeah,
mean,
something like that.
if they can, I mean, yo, fun fact. Speaking of talking about outlawed ingredients, Fireball, Fireball is not allowed to be sold anywhere else in the world except America. And a fun fact about Fireball, because
That shit's
the
great, by
re
the way.
I hate Fireball. It's disgusting. Don't
I
ever
used to
drink
get that shit by
Fireball.
I used to get sleeves of it.
We all did, but now it doesn't agree with any of us, and there's a reason. Because the reason it's outlawed in most other countries is because there's a chemical ingredient in it that they use to clean airplanes. The
Fucking
exterior, not the interior, the exterior. There's
oh
a
boy.
chemical that they use to like clean the wings and the body and the windows of a plane on the outside. And yeah, that's in American Fireball. So there you go. There's a start
Well,
for all you listeners. That's your journey into figuring out how horrifying things can really be.
I'm glad I didn't make that my regular drink.
Well, you did for a bit.
I did for
That and twisted tea. That and your horrible twisted teas. I don't. How do you even still drink those Mike's Hards? I would die of heartburn for a month if I drank one of those.
so the Mike's Harders aren't that bad. They're not nearly as like in your face sweet like a twisted tea. That shit is just instant heartburn. The Mike's Harder is at least a little less. It's a little more tame.
Is it though?
But the most
Is
I
it
can
really?
do is two. Like, and if I drink one without having eaten something, my stomach immediately gets twisted. Twisted. But
Right.
yeah.
Play on words. That was very clever.
Well, yeah, we are talking about mics, but twisted. Dude, I was addicted to those for a long time. I still have a friend, James, who
Free
like
advertisement for Southern
I
Tier.
have no idea what that says. It's blurry as fuck.
It says Southern Tier, and it's tiramisu flavored. It's one of their
Pyramid.
Blackwater Imperials. It's one of their Imperial Stout Blackwater series. Is 10%. Get into it.
Okay.
Get into it. Yeah,
Okay.
little change. Isn't that There's got to be something. There's got to be something in settings that I have to like change so it opens up the percentage allowed. You know how there's different apps that when you subsequently set them up or initially set them up, rather they subsequently have like those like safety settings or whatever they call them. There's got to be something.
Yeah.
I gotta be able to open that up. I bet I can through settings if I go into Riverside when we're done with this one, but that's fucking annoying. I mean, my phone, like I was saying, full bars. It's weird. And the router's right there. Like
Yeah,
right into my bum.
you should do connection test when you get off and see what that shows you. Maybe it'll
Well,
show you what's going on.
I did for the internet for like TV and my phone and stuff, and it was mint.
I smiled when I saw this.
Oh yeah, yeah, baby polar bear.
They saved
I
him.
want
It
to,
was like,
dude. I want to hold his little belly.
I know.
I want to just like. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's an example. This little belly is my belly. Just gonna hold that little belly forever.
You could
But
like
don't ever
see
grow up.
you could see him fucking smiling and
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Look at the belly. See, you never want to get rid of that belly.
all right, what do you want to get into Ellen and Anne Hesh or like a hazing type incident?
What was the first one?
Ellen and the death of Anne Hesh.
Is on the gurney there and tries to get up before going to the ambulance, but firefighters get her in the ambulance and take her to a nearby hospital.
And new details are being released tonight about the death of actress Anne Heche. The coroner's office revealing tonight that she was not impaired with any illicit substances when she crashed her Mini Cooper into a Mar Vista home in August.
And Anne Heche actually did 2 interviews on Ellen, and each time they were getting deeper and deeper, and she was revealing more and more information. And a lot of people thought that Anne Heche was actually getting ready to expose Ellen for being involved in trafficking. And honestly, this doesn't surprise me because who Ellen surrounds herself with.
To get back on the death wagon and start believing the lies that we've been crammed in. Every single truth that I spoke, I was hit more, buried more, or despised more. Why do you think she tried to put me in an institution, folks? I called my mother. Guess what? 2 people who wanted more than anything to have my truth buried. It was not my timing. I did not and could not ask God for what that would be.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ellen. Happy birthday to you. You didn't invite me to the party, so I'm just here in my office having shots in honor of one of the most beautiful women in the world.
In another wild twist surrounding Diddy and Ellen DeGeneres, the feds have allegedly uncovered new evidence that could link these two to the death of Ellen's ex-girlfriend, Anne Heche. So you already know Diddy's name has popped up in connection to multiple high-profile deaths over the years, from Tupac and Biggie to his ex, Kim Porter. But now there's some evidence seemingly hinting that Ellen also used Diddy's methods to silence people who threatened to expose her, and one of them might have been Anne Heche. So there's this shocking interview with Anne that just resurfaced where she claimed that Ellen tried to institutionalize her and then silenced and blackballed her for over 20 years. See, Anne was initially very outspoken about her toxic relationship with Ellen, and the more she talked, the more she started touching on some pretty disturbing allegations surrounding Ellen's rumored role as a gatekeeper and recruiter for Hollywood predators. Now here's where Diddy comes in. He and Ellen used to be very close, and they had each other's backs for years. And just recently, Ellen's bizarre post resurfaced where she wished Diddy a happy birthday on Twitter, saying, "Happy birthday, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs," or as I call him, Cuddle McSnuggle Stuff. You don't need to know why. Yes, we do need to know why, Ellen, because why were you snuggling with someone who's now being accused of doing the unthinkable to victims as young as 9? Now, these lawsuits against Diddy may be new, but the allegations have been following him since the 90s, and it's hard to believe Ellen had no idea what Diddy was up to.
The alleged spanned 3 decades, with the alleged victims ranging from men and women who claim they were during Combs' parties to a 9-year-old who claims Combs at him in a music studio.
When you talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred, it's shocking. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts.
But that's not all. Remember when Ellen's longtime DJ, Stephen Twitch Boss, supposedly unalived himself in September 2022, just weeks after he and his wife Allison went on Jennifer Hudson's show and talked about expanding their family?
No, but we really do. I love the little babies. I love them. And to be quite, it's a constant conversation.
But you know what's also disturbing about the timing of Twitch's death? He actually passed just 4 months after Anne Heche died. What are the odds of two people close to Ellen dying within months of each other? Of course, things like that can happen sometimes, and there doesn't necessarily have to be some deeper meaning behind it. However, with more details now surfacing about Ellen's close relationship with Diddy, fans are starting to question whether we were told the real truth about Anne Heche and Twitch's passing. And now some sources are saying that both Anne and Twitch may have known too much about what went down between Ellen and Diddy, or maybe they got too close to the truth about some of Hollywood's darkest secrets. It's now being alleged that Anne was silenced for something she was about to reveal, and several witnesses have come forward with claims that her accident was no accident at all. The way the car crash was reported, the weird details surrounding her final moments, like the way they put her in a body bag and then she popped out of it moments before they put her in the ambulance. There's a lot about Anne's accident that doesn't add up. So was it really set up? Did Diddy and Ellen work together to stop Anne from speaking out?
Oh, Justin Bieber?
Wow. Yeah, maybe. Well, there's another minute and a half left. They also connect her to, remember Twitch?
No.
He was found on America's Got Talent as a dancer. He did hip hop dancing, and Ellen hired him as a music guy on her show. He died also.
What?
It's a constant conversation.
But you know what's also disturbing about the timing of Twitch's death? He actually passed just 4 months after Anne Heche died. What are the odds of two people close to Ellen dying within months of each other? Of course, things like that can happen sometimes, and there doesn't necessarily have to be some deeper meaning behind it.
And Anne Heche was Ellen's ex, but they're suggesting she was close to exposing her for trafficking.
My word, man. Well, it's
What a
all coming
shit
out of the
show.
woodwork. Well, it had to happen at some point. It's all coming out of the woodwork now. They're all going to just keep snitching on each other so they can all avoid prison time. But the truth is going to come out. That's the bottom line. I mean, look at Communist. How did she get her come up? They said she was a minor when she started banging Willie Brown. So who knows? Who knows? Nobody knows.
Are you her daughter? Are you his daughter? You've seen that clip? Have you seen that clip when looks like it's from the 90s and she's with him and some reporter is there at the club and
right, yeah.
She's like, "Are you his daughter?" And she turns around and says, "No."
Yeah, that's dude. It's just gonna get worse. But as far as I'm concerned, worse for them means better for the rest of the world. Expose them for what they are. I mean, it's just like.
Is it true that Hamas backed off right after he was announced the president?
Oh yeah.
I heard that Hamas backed off after that, but I haven't obviously heard anything after that because they're not going to report about it.
Well,
on legacy
they're not. Legacy media is not, but Premier Legacy has been reporting daily about it, and yeah, they immediately called for a ceasefire. They were like, whoever that guy is that just shakes hands with ghosts and shit, like, he ain't running nothing. That guy? We're good. We'll stop fighting. Like,
I mean, that right there tells you 1,000 words.
Everything you need to know, bro.
without saying anything.
Yeah, yeah. Not only that, Korea was Kim Jong Un basically just went down into his bunker and supposedly apologized for sending troops to aid Russia in the invasion of Ukraine. Putin's in the same boat. They're all backing off the 100% pressure. They don't want any
Well,
part of it.
the most recent thing I heard within the last couple days related to Russia Ukraine was that one of our government officials stated that we were going to allow Ukraine to use our long range missiles to shoot into the interior.
Correct. Never gonna happen.
That's a pretty dumb idea, but
Never gonna happen. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen is the same thing that happened to El Baghdadi. God forbid another terrorist is dead, and then you have, what's that? What's that idiot singer's name from the '80s with the big gap tooth in her face? Starts with that M.
Madonna?
Yeah, yeah. Praise Al Baghdadi. I'll praise his family. I'm gonna blow up the White House. Like, yo. I mean, so basically,
What's that lady's name? You know, the face of MTV in the late 80s, early 90s, probably the most singer at the same time. You know, that lady with the gap, and it starts with an M. That's so funny.
are you going back on Madonna?
So funny.
I don't remember
What's that?
Madonna being
What's
the.
that bitch's name?
I don't know. Who the fuck are you talking about?
Shit.
What? I have no idea. They're really talking
Yeah,
about Madonna? Or
I was picking on you.
when the hell was she the host of anything relative on MTV? She was just a
No,
pop singer.
she was just all over MTV.
Who
That's
was
pretty much.
who was the chick that made me have Latin fever? 3 or 94 when Nirvana won music video or song of the year, whatever it was when they actually used to play music videos. Teen Spirit won. Who was that wicked hot Hispanic chick that used to host? What was her name?
Is she the one who ended up being in Fast and the Furious, that lady?
No, isn't that like Gal Gadot?
No.
Oh, I just rewatched White Man Can't Jump, so my brain keeps going back to Rosie Perez. But
That's who
no,
I
it's not.
was thinking of.
No, it's not fucking Rosie Perez. It's, oh my word.
Daisy Fuentes?
Daisy Fuentes! Oh my gosh,
This
man. That's when
lady?
I was like,
This lady?
yes, that lady. Yeah. I wish I'd already died after mating with her.
Oh, look, it's Polly. It's the Weasel.
Yo! Dude, that's hilarious. Dude, me and Jake were talking about that the other day, bro. Where is Polly Shore? Where is he?
Well, his brother runs the comedy store now because his mom died. She was running the comedy store, and so I think he's touring doing stand up. He's doing stand up again.
What? I feel like I would
Yeah.
have seen him on like Instagram or YouTube or something.
He's been on every once in a while he pops up on Kill Tony. Like if you
Oh,
search
okay.
Pauly Shore Kill Tony, he was just on a few weeks ago. What did he do? He came on stage, he looked fucked up as hell. He looked like he was on fucking
Oh, I can imagine.
ketamine or
I
something.
bet.
And he's on stage like in his underwear or something. I can't even remember what.
What the fuck?
I
Oh
won't.
my word. These fucking people. I mean, the last time I remember seeing him on anything was Entourage when he punked a drama with his little Well, yeah, Punked was it was they were mocking Punk, the Ashton Kutcher show on MTV, and it was they punked Johnny Drama, and it was you got. And I was rewatching my show. I was like, dude, I totally forgot about that. And then I was like, me and Jake were talking about it. I was like, dude, I haven't seen Pauly Shore anywhere since that episode. And he was like, bro, me neither. And that came out in like 2014. I was like, what the fuck? Pauly Shore disappeared. He's just another casualty in Hollywood. He witnessed too much and did too much cocaine with too many powerful people. Who knows? Who knows? But I don't know. I figured we'd
This
hear
is
about him
from
floating up on a shore.
this is from February.
What the fuck? Is like, does he dye his hair or is he like strawberry hair?
I think he does.
How much money did he make in the late 80s and early 80s, man? Like,
He
does
had
he
a
just,
nice train of movies that he made quite a bit of money off of there for a
I
while.
know,
He had
but
a
like,
nice run.
oh, well, yeah, he has a very large family and a lot of investment people,
Well,
so I'm
yeah,
sure.
his mom owned his family owned the Comedy Store since the Mafia, you know. I think the
Well,
Mafia
Hoffa,
was the previous owner before the Shore Zone.
yeah, yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, he's doing
Pauly Shore.
stand up, and I think he has a podcast.
That was so weird. Did you see that interview that Drew Barrymore did with Kamala a couple months ago? And she was like, she just kept edging closer and closer to her on the couch. It was like, oh, dude, it was so pathetic. She was just like jeering, it was just like she's like gets herself on the verge of tears, like we're watching a
Who was
fucking Adam
who was
Sandler
moving?
movie.
Kamala was sliding.
No, Drew Barrymore was sliding on her interview couch of whatever fucking show she does now. And she just kept inching towards her and was like, can I call you mother now? Oh my
Oh my
God, dude,
god,
I
that's
fucking
so
like,
funny.
dude, it was so bad. I puked in my fucking mouth. I was like, this is how hard you people are gonna pine for patheticness. Like, hey, look, as far as I'm concerned, we won. We're a free country still, and we will be for years on end. So, yeah, I gotta quit being all hateful and negative about it because it's like we finally got our retribution. We're back on track. Drill, baby, motherfucking drill. And they like to say that we're the most, we have like the most resources under our soil. I beg to differ because I believe in science. That's why I don't believe in the trans bullshit. The science says that Venezuela is the most rich country in terms of minerals under their soil.
Hey, hold on, I gotta pee. So I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. No, it's good. You got on a fucking, no, it's Carhartt, yeah.
My bad. I had to go so bad. I was trying to hold it.
Oh, no worries. It looked for a second when you came back that your Carhartt hat turned into a World War II German soldier helmet. No, yeah, Venezuela.
Before you continue with what you're saying, can we at least just acknowledge that? I mean, you tell me. Do you agree that it is an issue that some people, not an issue, but it's something that people truly do experience as far as being trans? That for some people it is a real thing, despite the fact that there's other people who choose to take advantage of it, or there's definitely some psychological stuff that crosses over with some of this, as well as some confusion mixed in, but that there are truly also legitimate trans people.
You're asking me what? If I
If you
believe that?
agree, if you agree.
I agree that there's confused people that need more mental health prerogatives than people are afforded or allowed these days. I believe that if we're going to go in so far as to that conversation, I think that mental health is a serious problem in this country, and that if you want to believe what you want to believe, you're free to believe what you want to believe, but denying biology is stupid and it's nonsense. And the people that tell us that we're stupid and nonsensical for not getting multiple jabs and trusting the science, if you're going to deny biology, which is basic science, then there's a problem with your entire argument from Jump Street. So I'm not going to tell someone that wants to believe they're a fucking butterfly or a boy or a girl. I don't give a shit. You do whatever you want. You live your life. But I don't think there's credibility to use taxpayer money to let criminals get sex changes so they can swap prisons.
That's not what I asked you. I asked
Well,
you if you're
it's
willing to acknowledge the fact that there are actually legitimate trans people.
no, I'm sorry, I'm not. I think they're just confused and they want to believe what they want to believe, which is fine. I mean, you can believe that you're a pharaoh or a king or a knight or a cowboy or an Indian. I don't care.
No,
But
that's different. That's not the same thing.
how? It's a construct of your mind that doesn't exist in reality. So how is it not the same? You're not a king. You're not a pharaoh. Neither am I. I'm not a
That's
girl. You're not a girl. You're a boy. You have a dick and you have a set of balls.
You're just talking about where it's gotten to because of how far it was taken.
No, that was the
What
original argument 10 years ago when all this really started becoming popular. The original argument was you can believe whatever you want to believe, but science is science. And then they said we're science deniers because we believe in actual biology and men are men and women are women. And
well,
now
what
we're
about
the
for
enemies
someone
of the state.
what about for someone who it's not they're just choosing to believe something, it's that they've always known that they were born with the wrong genitalia.
But that's okay. It's not their fault, but just be gay. If you want to be gay, be gay. Have a boyfriend if you're a boy. Have a girlfriend if you're a girl. You don't have to make up this whole extra thing that you're like this in between. It's like, yo, when did that ever change? When
Well,
did ever
that's
being
different. That's different than what I was saying. I mean,
when did that ever change though?
being
I
gay
don't
is
get it.
being gay is a different thing than being born with the wrong genitalia.
Okay. So we think now is that really the construct instead of doing normal therapy and mental health sessions and counseling to try to figure out the root problem of where that mental construct developed from, instead of doing the root step like you would being an adopted child and feeling out of place, or a child whose parents go through divorce and you're at a young age and you don't know which side to go to. It's not, there's so many variables. So I think it starts with mental health and counseling and therapy. It's not, if you really feel that way, most of these, I mean, well, I'm not going to generalize, but if these children have not gone through puberty, no one should tell them that they are a different sex than the sex they are.
Right. Well, no one should be telling them regardless. I
But
agree
that's
with
what they
that,
do.
and certainly it shouldn't be indoctrinated. Yeah, that's a completely different issue, which I agree with you on, that children shouldn't be coerced one way or the other and definitely shouldn't be indoctrinated or taught certain things for sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
So how else could you further the conversation for me to be able to come from my position to
Well, you
I,
did, I mean,
detail where I stand on it? You know what I mean? Because it's like I get it, but removing body parts is not the way to go. It's just not. I mean,
so all right, let me put this in a longer format. If so, are you willing to acknowledge that well, I won't even say that. So hypothetically, there's a person who grew up a typical life. They were born a biological male and were given all the blue things, and their first toys were male related, and they grow up as a toddler getting the same treatment. And then as their brain starts to form and they start to form a personality and interact with people and in their environment and life, they start changing their behavior and are being drawn to more typical female things. And as they get even older, they start being attracted to the same sex as them. And they always feel something's off, and shit's confusing to them. And they get even older, maybe they're in their teens now, and they're starting to think that maybe they're starting to have thoughts of that they really should have been the opposite sex. I should have been a girl. It feels like I'm a girl. And then this person then become an adult. They're in their late 20s and they still have these same feelings, and they've been to therapy at this point to work through these feelings, and at this point they've decided that they were, based on their whole life and the therapy they've been to, that they were meant to be the opposite sex, and then they decide that they're going to transition. So in that scenario, do you acknowledge that that person is a trans person?
no, I think they're just confused.
Ah, and that's the
Completely, I
opinion. There's
completely.
nothing to be sorry about.
I mean, I can, yeah, no, you're correct in that as well. But I mean, I completely understand the scenario. But classically and typically, what happens if if someone is born as a male and feels like they want to be feminine? I mean, I can't really explain this in layman's terms because it's
I
just
don't
going to
know. I mean,
upset
just
everybody.
no.
All I'm saying,
Let me
all
just
I'm saying
interject.
is that there's a top and a bottom. I have a lot of gay friends. There's a top and a bottom. If you want to be the female, you're the bottom. If you want to be the top, you're the top.
I'm just confused though, because you're bringing up points like, yes, this indoctrination when people are kids, or having therapies, or having body parts removed when they're kids. The scenario I gave you was somebody who decides that this is still something that they want to do as an adult and has zero effect on you. And as far as I know, you're a person who is for freedom, freedom of speech, and freedom to be able to do what you want as long as it's not hurting someone else. So I don't really
Hey, did I ever say
understand
that
your
I
point.
wanted it? I never said I wanted it to be illegal for people to have sex changes. Like I said from Jump Street, it's your body. You do whatever the fuck you want with it. But if you cut your dick and your balls off, you have to wear a diaper for the rest of your life. That hole doesn't just hold pee; it leaks. The myriad of health problems of cutting breasts off young girls and doing these mutilation things to children, but especially before they go through puberty, I mean, by the time they turn, how many, you don't see it because they don't popularize it. They don't post it on media. The amount of kids that are like 17, 18, 19, 20 years old that are like, I wish I never did this is staggering, man. It's huge. And once you go that way, there's no going back. So that's all I'm saying. You can do whatever the fuck you want. If I want to right now, I could take this fucking huge 44 Magnum and put a bullet through my fucking head because it's my body and I can do what I want with it. But what I'm saying is that I don't think it's a solution to the problem. I think that's why, having gone through so much stupid fucking bullshit therapy as a kid, dealing with divorce, family deaths, blah blah blah, more and more fucking psychotherapy. As much as I hate it, I do acknowledge the value and what can become of true therapy and true counseling. And we're only talking about 11% of kids. The trans community is only 11% of the youth as we speak right now. And I don't think it's okay for people to train these children to believe that that's going to change their life. They need to become an adult. So I think there should be laws implemented.
Right,
18.
but you still won't
18.
consider them trans, even if they do that, because that's what you said based on my scenario. I'm just trying to understand why you're not willing to consider anyone trans, even if they have gone through all that and they are an adult and they make those decisions as an adult with a fully formed brain.
What? If they go through all that, why are they still trans? Wouldn't they just be the opposite sex? What's the point of adding more vernacular and all these extra terms? It's redundant. It's
Well, I'm
stupid.
sure they would
If you
prefer
want to be a girl, then just call yourself a girl. Why do I have to use all these different words and pronouns? Why can't, okay, you're a boy, you want to be a girl? Okay, cool. Fine.
that. I'm
Your name's
sure that
Steve. I'll call you
most of the
Stephanie.
people in that position would prefer that was the case, but for some reason they decided they had to put a label on it, probably to make it a controversy. But
No,
I
the people
imagine they
that
were
put
much happier being in the background of things instead of what it's become.
the people that put the label on it are the people pushing the agenda. The people pushing the agenda is the twisted part of the medical community and people sitting in offices. When was the last time on the Senate floor or the House of Representatives or anyone in government have you seen that's trans? You haven't. Are any of their kids trans? No. If they say they have trans kids, they're a lie because they just
Oh,
don't.
there was that one guy who was shoplifting. I'm sorry, that trans. That wasn't there somebody on staff who was it was a
Oh, they was
claimed to be a
stealing
trans
fucking
woman who was
airport
like
luggage.
shoplifting? Yeah, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Airport luggage.
yeah.
That's the only
Whatever.
person I
Okay,
can think of.
okay. There's a couple exceptions, and then that one supposed Navy general, whatever his or her name is, but it's just I mean, I'm not denying anyone of anything. All I'm saying is that we're not making new breeds. Okay? We're just boys or girls. If you want to claim to be one thing, no one gives a fuck. If you want to be a hippie, go be a fucking hippie. If you want to be a prison fucking rider, go be a prison rider. No one cares, but we're not making new categories of humans because it biologically makes zero sense and it's not sensible. And as far as I'm concerned, it just drives up health costs of people that are on public health insurance to have to go through all this shit. So I don't want to acknowledge maniacal ideas. It's not okay. It's just not, it's not reality. And for people to tout that it is reality isn't fair for people that are going through a super hard time in their life. And going, like I said, going through the 10 years of therapy that I went through in a lockdown boarding school, fucking, they have specials on Netflix about the kind of fucking, about places like Swift River that I went to. They're cult. It's a cult. You're not, it's like the altruists. You don't just own virgin girls and be allowed to just impregnate them, rape them, kill them, and then do the same thing to their babies. This is out of the world kind of shit. So no, I don't encourage this shit. It's not that I don't have sympathy for people that are confused about their own being. I have all the sympathy in the world. Half the fucking day, I hate myself, and I'd rather just be wherever in the clouds with my old man, for fuck's sake. We all go through shit, but I don't think it's okay to encourage it, and I don't think that somebody needs to change their entire body and their lifestyle and stand waving rainbow flags and sitting in front of traffic on highways to prove your fucking point. That's mental illness. You need to calm the fuck down and just let someone give you a hug. All right? That's where I'm at with it. Just calm down, get a hug, and explain yourself. Sit in front of a fire with someone, hold their fucking hand, and talk about your feelings. You don't have to bottle them up and then just explode in some innate, like unnecessary way. Just to it's like what they used to do back in the day. We're here, we're queer, and just freak out. It's like, dude, I don't give a shit if you're gay. You know, it's like no one cares about that anymore. It's a different world. It's 2024. It's not 1963. All right, like everyone just needs to calm the fuck down. You don't need to change your body if you want to be an effeminate male. No one cares. Go make cupcakes.
Or
No
if
one's
they
telling.
make the decision as an adult to change their body, that's up to them, and they're going to have to deal with the consequences.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's it. I mean, it's not going to be comfortable, then it's not going to be fun. And if and when you do have regrets about it, that's what I was saying from Jump Street. Ain't no going back. So you want to mutilate yourself. I say the same shit about tattoos, bro. I ain't got one tattoo. Why? Because I'm fucking crazy. I would love to have a tattoo. You know why I don't? Because if I'm a fucking burn victim, there ain't no ink in my skin. You ain't going to be able to find out who I am. If I want to blow myself up and get eaten by a pack of fucking polar bears or fucking werewolves, no one's going to be able to figure out who I am, what I did, where I was, period. I don't want any markings on me. I don't mark up my body. I don't want any surgery I don't need. Leave me the fuck alone. So I just don't think that making your identity by mutilating yourself in any way, whether it's even a fucking, that's the only one I have right there, the old school Bic fucking smiley face. Heat up the lighter and burn yourself. Oh, dude, I got the smiley face scar, dude.
I got one of those somewhere.
So dumb.
I got one over here somewhere.
But you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like, I just don't think that that is going to be the satisfaction you need if you're that far out of the pitch of life. I don't think that's gonna ultimately give you the satisfaction that you're ultimately looking for. I don't think that changing yourself like that for reasons of identifying as anything. What are you gonna do? You could tell me tomorrow, I think I'm Chinese. Okay, Greg, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna get your eyes sewed back and just pretend to be Chinese? You don't fucking know any. eh, eh, You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's like, where does it start and where does it end? I think, I think, I think I'm an Egyptian. It's like, you don't have a tan, you have zero skin pigment, you don't have any melanin, you're white, you're from Vermont. I'm from fucking New England myself. Why pretend to be something that you aren't instead of find a way to accept yourself for who you are and love yourself for who you are? I feel like that, okay, so that's the precipice. That's where I come to my conclusion. In your initial question is if you feel like you need to go out of your own way to prove a point, you're not asking yourself enough questions, for one. And two, you're not taking the time and the proper judgment. And three, you don't fucking love yourself enough. And that's fine because 90% of fucking humans hate themselves. We all fucking hate ourselves. I just ate that muffin. I didn't fucking need that muffin. Oh, really? Yeah, you needed the fries tonight, bro. Beer? Really? Fucking, it's just one thing after another. We line up these reasons to hate ourselves. And I just don't think that it's an adequate way to prove yourself to yourself that you are who you are. That's just where I stand on it. You can call yourself whatever you want, but I'm never going to acknowledge anything that I think is ridiculous. Trans is not a genome. It's not a person. It's a mental construct that was designed, and it's not a real thing. I'm sorry. Like I said, if you want to be an effeminate male or be a brawnish female, go be a fucking Ronda Rousey. Go join the UFC and beat the fuck out of people. Or if you're a dude, go fucking, Richard, what's his name? And go, you know, do little workout videos and cook muffins that are like brand muffins. They're healthy for you. No one gives a shit. You don't have to go that far to create your own identity. And that's all I'm saying. And this is coming from someone who genuinely fucking hates everything. I don't hate you. Most of the things I hate are by my own design. And it's like, look, that piece of wood is, why the fuck is that cracked? Who set that door? That fucking door's hanging a little bit. I just break down everything. And I genuinely don't fucking, there's only a few things I like. My real friends, beer, whiskey, guns, and my cat. And everything else can fuck off. I could die tomorrow. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Not to mention fresh garlic. Fresh garlic. Ooh, that's like actually number one on the list. But here we are. So it's like, I don't know, man. That's.
So just to be clear, you're willing to acknowledge every person on Earth unless they call themselves trans.
I never said I wouldn't acknowledge. So I don't care. Like I said that multiple times. I don't care what you call yourself. I'll still acknowledge you. You're a person. You can call yourself Superman. You can call yourself trans. You can call yourself fucking Batman. I don't give a shit. Are we playing Cowboys and Indians? What is this fucking, what are we, 4 years old? It's not that I'm not going to acknowledge a person. It's just I don't acknowledge people's idiotic ideology. If you want, like, dude, I can't fucking stand dudes that wear Birkenstocks in the middle of winter because they think it's 1967 and they're fucking cool and they still carry around a ticket from fucking Woodstock in their back pocket that their father went to and they never even went to. Like, just, I don't know how many examples you need, man. It's It's not that I wouldn't acknowledge a human as a person. Are you kidding me? I'll give anyone the respect of any time of day, but I'm not gonna. You can, like I said, you can call yourself whatever you want, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna agree with what you call yourself. If I call myself a super badass, fucking the best carpenter in the world, you don't have to believe me. I don't believe that, and I know I'm not. So, but I could say that all day long. Why does anyone have to respect that opinion? If I'm just touting it for what? Attention? What's the other reason anyone would fucking for that kind of acknowledgement? It's you're spouting something for someone to acknowledge what you're claiming, and that reveals a lack of something in your life. That's what I'm talking about regarding mental health. It's not that I don't respect where you're coming from. I just don't agree. And there's obviously something that you might need to change in your life. Is all I'm saying, man. It's not that I don't respect people that come from different backgrounds, bro. Like, dude, I went to fucking boarding school for 4 years. I went to 3 different colleges, man. I know people from everywhere, all across the globe, every different fucking religion you can imagine, man. That's not me. I'm not one to just judge and be like, okay, like Faisal, for example, we talked about earlier. It's like, okay, you say you're from Saudi Arabia, so I'm supposed to just believe everything you say about. It's the same thing about being from fucking America, being from anywhere. Everyone comes from different licks of life, you know. So it's not. It's just another way. To me, it's just another way of people finding their identity, which is okay. But I just think that mutilating yourself or changing your construct is not the way to go about it. I just don't agree with it, and that's where I stand on that. Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, if you if we don't feel comfortable in our own bodies, we ain't got a body worth living in.
So this is that new phone I got. I ended up getting the Razor because
Yeah, right.
it's one of my favorite phones when I was in my late teens, early 20s, something like that. But
25 fucking years ago.
this thing's pretty dope, dude. You can't really see when you're watching something. You don't even really notice the crease. But that sucker
Oh yeah.
just
Oh no
folds up.
shit. So it's like the
And
size of a flip phone.
yeah, dude, it feels so light in my pocket.
What? Oh
This
man, I gotta
thing,
get one of them.
look at this.
What the
And
fuck? You got?
I can pull up my messages right on there. I can text
No
you
doubt.
on this. I got a little tiny screen. I can just, hey
But like,
hon,
so
text you on there. Shit's
that's
cool.
awesome.
I can pull up like if I want to watch something while I'm making the dog's food, I'll put it like this and just
Yeah.
watch on the little screen.
Yeah, keeps itself right up.
My former coworker called me on Messenger video chat, or my former coworker Patty, she wants to quit her job, so she called me on Messenger and I put it down on the railing like this, and her face popped up on this top part, and
Oh, that's
I don't
cool.
know, it's pretty dope, dude.
That is sick. That is. How much was that?
I'm paying $16 a month for 36 months.
Oh, what? I could probably get one of them.
$600, $600, I think.
So it's like the size when it's folded up. It's like the size of a pack of fucking smokes, if not smaller.
Yeah, here's my earbud case,
What? Oh, that's
similar to
awesome.
that. And then this screen, like, it's the same size as the screen of my old phone, except it's a little bit taller, but it's way smaller.
Right.
It's
Yep.
fucking weird.
That's awesome.
But the only thing I found was This is the hinge for it, but it's with this kind of shitty case, it's exposed.
Right.
So I ordered a case that has like a piece that covers this. And then when you
Yeah.
open it, it just kind of evens out here, but it stays over that, so I won't get a bunch of crumbs and shit in there. That's all I was worried about.
Yeah, but it also like evens, like you're saying, when you unfold it, it evens out that crease, so you can't even like tell.
Right. It'll have a little
That's
bump.
awesome.
It'll have a little bump there, but
Yeah, what?
because it has to cover that, but
Right.
it's pretty cool. There's my
Yeah,
screen
that's.
saver.
I
It's
couldn't
pretty
see it.
cool.
What is it?
It's this little guy.
Is that a little penguin?
It's a little creature.
I think
It
my
changes.
screen is in the way. I couldn't. Hold on, let me move that over. It's a it's a little creature. He's a little
Little
marshmallow
guy.
man.
Yeah, and it's funny because in the morning it was him driving to work, and then like a couple hours later it was him on a laptop. Like it changed throughout the day, like depending on the time.
That's goofy as fuck, but I like it.
Hell yeah. Hell
It's
yeah.
fun. It's fun.
Alright, brother. It is fun. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Fucking right.
Well, it's been real. It was a good one. 2 hours. I think it was needed
Yeah,
because
that
we're
was. Yeah,
a little backed up on podcasts.
I'd say we
Hopefully
got a
I
little
don't,
bit caught up.
a little caught up. Hopefully I don't have to buy the expensive version of Riverside to publish this, but if so, it might take a couple more days. But we'll see if I can get away with doing it without having to upgrade. But
No doubt. No doubt.
if you've survived this long, oh, did I tell you what did we have before? Someone from Russia listening?
I don't know.
We had whatever it was. We had one person from Russia and then one person from China.
China.
Oh boy. But thank you guys
Girl
if you
from China.
thank you wherever you are from. Thanks for listening. If you've made it this long, I'll plug our affiliation with Dubby. Again, it's an energy drink company who doesn't put all that bullshit in there. And they sell powders and cans. So that's Dubby, DUBBY.GG. Use code MAAP for 10% off. Thanks for tuning in, and we will hopefully catch you next week. We'll cut back on our hiatus there. We'll try and push these out more often.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks again, Hans. Try and keep your app open. I think you can leave the chat, but I think just leave it open so it uploads.
All right.
We'll try and get this out. Yeah, if we didn't talk about that at all, but we did make a full podcast and could not upload it. That was about a week ago or so.
And Greg, the other thing we got to do, we got to look into Crockett Coffee too.
Crockett
They're good.
Coffee.
They're Clay and Buck from the Clay and Buck podcast. The guys that took over Rush Limbaugh's spot. They started their own coffee company. They used to push. What's the one that's owned by all the vets? Black Rifle Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
They used to push that, and then they made their own coffee company, and they're doing promotional stuff for startup podcast. So we should look into that for sure.
Nice. All right. That's a good idea.
Yeah, they're touting it hard, so we could get on some Crockett Coffee, and we'll go from there. But yeah, man, good dude, good conversation. Thanks everyone, anyone that's listening, and the last half hour might have been a little bit controversial, but it's a conversation that needs to be had, and I'm glad we had it. And everyone comes from their own roots and their own manner of being.
The most important part about it is being able to have that conversation and still be civil with each other as we are,
That's fucking
and
right.
still be able to be friends as we are and not take it personally as we don't.
Exactly.
That's really the key in having these discussions, because that's needed to have a society that's functioning.
Yep. So be comfortable in your own shoes, kids. We appreciate it. Greg, love you, brother.
Love you too. Until next time.
That's right. I'll leave this shit